Greetings, this is Joanna, and we are going to do another shamanic tarot reading. So thank you. I've got some new decks today, so I'm really excited. Two of my favorite decks that we'll use at the end, Alana Fairchild Crystal Mandala, which is that one. We'll use that at the end. And then the Divine Mother Mary Oracle, again by Alana Fairchild, one of my favorite artists as well. And then I've got my new deck here, which is the Shaman's Oracle. This one right here. I've been having lots of fun with that, so we'll do a couple of cards in that. And then the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle. So we're going to call in, all of the sacred space has been set, and setting the vibrations of our divine ascension story. This is Joanna from Heavenly Radiance. And know that your teams and your spirit guides and your angels are with you, that are assisting you in activating, in allowing your divine highest wisdoms to come forward. And just open your divine sacred heart and align with the stories that you already know that are forthcoming, the ascension stories that we activate in our sacred gathering, the intelligence, the wisdom, the energy, the vibration of unconditional love as divine beings of light that we are, a spiritual divine human coming forward in new ways to explore our planet, to explore all that we are as multidimensional beings, physical, vibrational beings, and activating the Christic body within us, as we're also activating the Christic grids on our planet and the beautiful wisdom within the animals, nature, wildlife, flora, fauna, the forests. And so we bring these forward, these vibrations forward. The shamans of the earth, the inner earth, the rainbow light masters, and various shamans, galactic shamans that are also with us and working with me as I explore my shamanic gifts and sound healing. So let's begin. Thank you again for joining us. So today I felt the vibration of the Divine Feminine and the Mother Energy, which is why we've got the Mother Mary deck right here. And beautiful activations with Moolah. This one wanted to come out. Flew out right away. And allowing the Divine Mother at the beginning of the week, so it's a beautiful energy, to remind us of the importance of heart-centered living, nurturance, compassion, is a part of the alchemic process, knowing that both balanced male and female frequencies are required for divine manifestation, and reminding us of self-care, nurturing our bodies, nurturing the emotional field, the emotions that we move with, and how valuing and honoring the emotions creates greater wellness and greater stability, and also used in the manifestation process. So the Divine Mother energy came forward today to remind us of that, is the value of self-love, the value of self-care, the value of nurturance and compassion for all others, to really create presence and value in your presence with others. So to know that in any moment that you sit and have conversation and communion, it's a sacred connection of source with source in a myriad of multidimensional ways. And to create that value and sacredness, that they are source communing with source, and how it allows us to release judgment, to release the separative stories that have perhaps been between us. So to always view all others as source, creator, spirit, as God, mother, father. And our connection with each other is what is required to heal our planet and move into new directions. For care and harmony, co-creation of the highest frequency, we're giving each other love and compassion and understanding. We may not see each other's side, and that's okay, but we can open up to allow each other's perspectives to be valued and respected. And that's the honor and respect of the soul, honoring and respecting the soul. And what I offered in our other video that we'll have up on our site as well, the importance of centering at the heart, and how it's played such an important role for the alchemic shift. And any activation that you move through in ascension is done through the heart, pure intent, and how it is a part of all healing, whether you're healing a mental, emotional, physical, or any attribute that we're healing, to activate a new wisdom, to activate a new way of becoming. It's always done through the portal of the heart. And that is your main connection with Source Creator. It's through the heart, and why it's such a powerful mechanism. We're shifting, the fifth dimensional frequency of ascension is shifting from mind living, so living in the mind, the ego running of the mind, and allowing the ego to observe and be a part of your manifestation process, but you masterfully navigating the ego and commanding it lovingly into what it requires and what you require of it. And living in a space that is held within the center of your being, your heart. So to be heart-centered, mindful, and present as you move through your connection and your co-creations. And as we mentioned in our video this morning, heart-centered living, to conceive and perceive of new ways of behaving and creating those perspectives of communing around others that may or may not be of the same vibration or even like vibration, because we will all have these experiences to assist in the healing of our entire collective and planet, and not to release the vibrations and the verbiage of separation in as best ways that we can. You know, the example of cutting people away and you know, all of those experiences, you know, cut that person out and cut that person away, and all those similar experiences and offerings continue the separation at the soul level and at the personality level, and that's what we're here healing. So you can have the awakening that certain vibrations and certain experiences perhaps may not serve you, but we can continue with an open heart and in oneness. We can continue with a higher intelligence and the higher intellect to direct ourselves into other arenas and to call in and manifest vibrations that are of more of a like vibration. But to do so and walk about with the honor of all life, that's what's really, really important. And so we hope that the video this morning was a way for us to raise our vibration into a higher perspective of oneness, to know that allowing of the release of all judgments, even in the world of enlightenment and awakening, so that we really truly begin to awaken our hearts at the highest compassionate level and begin healing the perspectives of the world that we're really here to heal. We cannot heal it if we're still separating ourselves from one from the other. It doesn't have any bearing that you can choose to direct and have different experiences with others that are of a like vibration, because those will naturally be manifested towards you, and there will be some that aren't meant to come on your journey. But how can we soften into how we perceive these experiences? Many of us have been through very traumatic experiences, and some of the natural instincts are to close up and separate and push away and push back. And through my experience and through my offerings and from what I've been downloaded, that those will continue to be called in until the lesson is learned, until we learn to unconditionally open our hearts and know that we are fully empowered to be an open vessel of love. And my teams had told me that that's your shield, is your love, is your light. You will allow all experiences to be transformed and alchemically shifted through the power of your light and love. And that allows your empowerment to truly rise to a whole new level, because you're not separating it and fearing it by pushing it away and separating it through judgment or through words that are harsh in vibration and carry that vibration in your field, because those are the perspectives and the beliefs held. So again, it's just bringing things to the forefront so that we truly perceive things from an open, loving perspective, and knowing that we are all here to assist in the healing of the all. And that we can perceive and be excited about new things opening up, and allow the empowerment from within to guide us in the highest vibrational intelligence and wisdom, and offer healing and guidance to all others. And again, they don't have to take that healing, and they don't have to want to take that healing, but to live with it in an open heart, and then you serve your soul's path and soul's journey in the most highest loving way, unconditionally. Because that unconditional love, that heart-centered living, is the power that alchemically shifts every single cell in your body and your reality. It absolutely does. And that is why the masters walked and created the miracles that they did, because they lived with that unwavering truth that they were absolutely always in source light, and there was nothing to fear. So it's perceiving, we'll do a whole other video on fear in and of itself, and healing the shadow, and how fear subjugates at every level. and how to really walk in that sense of empowerment through the healing. So I think I've shuffled these enough. So it's just to keep an open mind and an open heart, and really be conscious and mindful of the words that we use, because it's really, really important. They are beginning to create our reality. So what are our thoughts? And if there's words and things that you're aware of that you'd like to change as part of your self-care and your daily reflection, to say, oh, this word doesn't sound good to me anymore. Feel the vibration of the word and create new words that feel lighter and more sacred. Compassion and oneness. We're brothers and sisters and mothers and daughters and children of Source Creator. We are all one. So how can we use new language? How can we use words and song and offering in our sacred behavior so that we begin the healing of our planet in that way? Because it heals yourself. The aspects that we're all here to heal. How exciting. Oh boy, that is powerful. As I'm talking about this, these cards are so amazing. I'm really, really, really in love with this deck. And we're going to pull one from the Mother Mary. This is my beautiful Mother Mary deck. And I often use these cards just at bedtime for prayers and just for alignment with the Divine Mother. These are beautiful cards by one of my favorite artists. And the artist, I want to give her a shout out. I have some of her paintings in my house. The artist is Shiloh Sophia McLeod, and she's the artist of the Mother Mary art, Divine Feminine. She does a lot of Divine Feminine paintings, and she's just one of my favorite artists. And so, we're going to pick one. Oh boy, I love that one. It's one of my favorite ones. I have so many favorites. And then one from the Crystal Oracle. Okay. Oh boy, that's lovely. That's lovely. Okay. And so we start with the Oracle of the Trees. The Oracle of the Trees. And the first one that really popped out that I wanted to read right away was 56. And it's interesting because I've had this word come up a lot in the last couple of days, is memory. And the tree that popped out was the ginkgo tree. And the ginkgo tree, what beautiful imagery we have there. The ginkgo tree symbolisms is the link to eternity. Look at the leaves and you will see in a moment of my birth and how I've overlapsed in time. I am the silent witness of the past, and I am the living memory of planet Earth. And so have you forgotten something important? Perhaps it has slipped your mind because you can subconsciously want to ignore it, or because it might challenge you to create a new belief or perspective, which is what we were just talking about, choosing new words, choosing the belief, choosing the vibrations, whether it's words or food, that allow you to remember who you've been and who you are as Source Creator, as pure love, as pure one with all. Think about what may be slipping your memory, or that you just don't want to touch or tackle because it might create an opening for greater learning and for greater release. Oftentimes, we know why we're doing it at the deepest level, but we're bringing our subconscious to the conscious level and living as our higher selves, which means things must be unearthed. And unearthing it is the essence of time within who we are, cellularly, within our DNA. And the things that are coming up here, obviously, is this beautiful love heart that is imprinted within the stone, which means that through time, I have been a part of the architecture of Gaia. And there's a path that's leading to the tree, if you see that. And how we have all had our paths going to and from the memory of who we are in different form, in different lifetimes, in different tribes, in different locations on the planet. And how we walk those paths with shifting soul blueprints and soul connections for the growth of the soul. So the more that we allow ourselves courage and determination and perseverance to truly go and unearth who we are, cell by cell, layer by layer, peeling back every layer of that onion, so that we allow ourselves to see the seed of truth that we are, which is pure light and pure love. And how the vast the vistas will be presented to us. There will always be a vista for us to unearth and unveil for ourselves, and we will leave our imprint and our legacy. And how may we do that within the most authentic way and say that this is me, and it may cause me to create those releases that I've been fearing to face, but I know it's who I am, and I honor it. And this is similar to the healing of the shadow self, the inner child, however we want to call it, healing the Akash. We can define it in whatever way we want. What it is healing all aspects of all that we are, and why when we release judgment, healing our shadow self, healing the Akash, healing our soul fragments, we become more and more whole, because we, through that acceptance, through that self-love, through the compassion and forgiveness of ourselves, we allow ourselves to see the mirror of all that we are within the all. And it's required, and it's not always a pleasant journey, but we are able to co-create and do this. However, we've lived in such a society with such entrainment of separation that we've feared those places that are deep within us, but they only allow us to see the greater light that we are, as that candle allows us to remember. Every layer that we unearth will allow us to see a new perspective, a new imprint of our vastness, a new imprint of our oneness. And it will always be colored, and it will always be textured, and it will always be varied within the galactic threadings that we're all threaded with. Because that unveiling will allow you to link in with gifts and skills and wisdoms that are again threaded within the all. However, if we're not willing to unearth it, if we're not willing to create that new memory that we have stuffed down or suppressed, it's only through that healing that those awakenings can occur, because we're releasing the density, we're transmuting it through love and acceptance and forgiveness. And the vistas will be presented. And they will always be closer and more defined through your heart. They will always be more aligned through your heart and soul, because that's your soul's job and journey, to ever allow you those opportunities, through the inspirations of the higher self, to go deeper, wider, more rich, for your journeys to be unveiled, new vistas to be unveiled. So thank you, that was beautiful. This is a big energy in this reading. I can already feel. On this one, wow, I love this one. And when I first saw this card, it reminded me of the Star of David that's in here. And this is the yew tree. And so just peer upon the symbolisms that's being shown to you, because each and every one of you will create a different symbolism. What's already popping out to me is the portal that's inside the tree. I had a video a couple of years ago about multidimensional portals and trees, and I think I posted it on the Facebook. I had that experience with the Syrians were showing me the portals that trees are, and I had an experience of moving right through the tree. The Syrians were helping me transcend my limited belief that I wasn't one with all things around me. And they said that I had the power to move through the tree. And in my disbelief, I was musing telepathically, yeah, right, really, this is a solid tree. I can move through this. And they said, yes, can, we'll show you. And I moved through the tree. They helped me move through the tree. And as I moved through the tree, I was able to sense and understand the stories that the tree held, because the rings of the tree are the vibrational stories that tree holds. That tree listens, that tree hears, that tree absorbs and receives and sends information in its and through its environment, from the heavens, from below, from all around. So we forget that they are vibrational beings as we are, and they have many stories and wisdoms to teach us if we so desire. But the yew tree is about regeneration. I can live for many hundreds of years. As my outer trunk gradually dies off, I will grow new trunks from within, a new life to gain new strength and resilience. So how beautifully perfect that we're moving through this idea of regeneration and resurrection, through it's only the unveiling and the peeling back of all that we are, allowing the new essence from the within, the pillar of light within, to create those new outer exterior experiences. And why so many of us going through ascension, there can be people that we'll run into from years and years ago, or even people that know us every day, that will often say, well, you look different today, because we're really recreating ourselves moment for moment for moment. And it can change and shift our physical and multidimensional experiences. I've been really working with my multidimensional fields and my cells to recreate different health and wellness attributes for my body, my physical body, and my mental body, and my emotional body. So I'm working with it quite actively. And I feel I look different now than I did a year ago. And I'm amazed with the differences of just being a loving commander of my bodies. But this is allowing us to see another experience and an example of resurrection, how the trees resurrect. But their wisdoms are held deep within the layers of who they are. And you can see how this tree just ripples over one another. It's like a beautiful family harmonizing. You know, the child and the mother and the father, and however we want to see our circle of lineage, however we want to see the embodiment of who we are as source. And deep within us is the cell of source creator. It's always the harmonization of the male and female frequencies in this particular realm, so that we understand that we're co-creating from the attributes of the soul that have the divinity of compassion and the divinity of will and strength and power, to create the harmonization, so that we are always a society that is held for the greater good and the healing and the exploration and the experience of the greater good. And the U allows us to visualize this. And what's coming to center right now is the beautiful, I see a face in here, and the face is held over with the sun here. And so the imagery and the energies that are coming forward for me right now is my cat is climbing things my cat shouldn't climb in. The story that's coming right to me right now is your presence and your oneness within who you are. And so if we are this tree, the presence of who we are with source in the middle, your soul that carries all aspects of you, all wisdoms, all intelligences from all realms, is carrying the essence of you as source. And the package and the body that we walk within is our exterior personality template. But we're so vast. And when we hold ourselves in this center, we can become anything that we so desire on the outer reality, whether it's a manifestation of a healing center, or assisting others, or healing our body, or whatever it might be. But when we hold that center point, knowing that we are the son of male and female, then we allow ourselves that purity of allness, and we transform all things from the center to without, from within so without. And it's very fluid and beautiful. You know, it's just gorgeous. Stories that Gaia tells. So thank you. And the final one is the Coast Redwood. Oh, I love this one. I had this one the other day. The giant redwood is the giant redwood. Oh, the coast redwood, is it the same thing? There it is. So this one is number 47. The coast redwood, we were just talking about that. It's so funny how these cards just come out and they're all just lining together the same story. The vibrations of a story. This one is the idea of growth. The thing that's standing out to me right now is obviously the eagle or hawk that's taking in its beauty. The vibrational symbolism is growth, and some members of my family are the tallest trees on earth. They are also some of the oldest, having weathered many storms and dangers. Let me show you how to be resilient while maintaining your connection both to heaven and earth. And this is what resurrection is all about, that many of us are moving into new arenas of co-creation and empowerment. To know that whatever you're creating for yourself, from the vibrations that were yesterday or the day before or a year ago, that you're allowing yourself the potentiality that you're ever strengthened in the pillar of all that you are. And this is why I love trees, because it symbolizes who we are as human beings standing on earth. We are the pillars of light, bringing heaven to earth, and the light that flows through us, and how we anchor and create the flora and the fauna and the gardens of love through our own transformational process, and entangling with all life in and about, allowing life to live through us, allowing us to be a part of the story of earth and what legacies we leave upon earth and within earth. How are our vibrations affecting the all that is around us and within us? And we're ever growing, we're ever reaching out, we're ever moving from one state of becoming to another state of becoming. It's always constant and never stopping. Have the courage to be the person you know yourself to be. Do not be afraid to excel because you are worried about showing how exceptional you are. Do your very best, both in the trivial and important matters. So allow your light to shine, and as you reveal layer by layer by layer, you're allowing yourself to be received and perceived in new ways through you. Not for other people. Of course, that is the byproduct because we're all entangled and co-creating together. But it's for you to experience the love of who you are, as we've always offered in the ideas and the Christ vibration through our water body is the Christ consciousness through the crystalline grids. To experience, to explore, and to express all that we are, and to ever grow in this. And that is what is truly meant by the liberation, and to feel and to be and experience life as a sovereign divine being of all that is. That is sovereignty, to freely express and explore and experience all that you are in any way that you're excited. That's living through the divine sacred heart, that heart center space as a curious child of source, infinite and eternal, and ever growing and reaching up. So that's lovely. Thank you. Oh, great, beautiful stories from the trees today. Thank you, trees. And then we're going to go to this new deck that I have. And this is the Shaman's Oracle by John Matthews and Will Kingham. The first card that just flew out was the Spirit of Family. And the Spirit of Family is the vibrational story that's coming to me. And you see the visions and the markings that are on the walls. In ancient tribes and ancient community, they understood the frequencies of all that they were entangled in and how it was held within the livelihood of their tribe and their co-creations and their survival. And they took great reverence and respect for everything within their community. And their families consisted not only of other people in their tribe family, but also of the beings that helped them sustain their life. And how that is a part of their growing, because the animals teach us, the animals allow us to grow and to learn. And I'm just going to read what it says in the book here. I am the spirit of family. I hold the heart of the family group in my hands, sheltering it and protecting it from harm, and helping bind together the elements that it comprises. On every side I see relatives, both human and animal, and together we form a part of the greater whole. I reach out to your spiritual kin, to both ancestors and guardians, offering support in times of trouble and resolution, so that we may transcend conflict. So it's about resolving times of conflict, resolving those moments through which we're going through transition in our awakening, and we're releasing the old skins that no longer serve. And those can cause great transitionary anxiety and worry because we're releasing everything that we've known to be true. But it's required for us to step into a new vibrational playing field so that we can see all beings as part of the family and all have contribution to our family. Because without those contributing energies that have pushed us into seeking into our greater light, we would have never had that light to experience. And so everyone's perspective is allowing us to see the richness that is source, the richness of how we are here to help that light potential for them to walk on that platform of greater awareness of themselves, but don't have to, but that we're offering that light vibration because they've helped us accumulate, they've helped us become, they've helped us inspire, they've helped us grow. We're all in this commingling of infinity, moving back and forth, allowing the essence of who we are as source to be offered to the all as that platform of new light to co-create within. And all are required for that story. We wouldn't be humanity without those stories. And all of these energies that have been brought together through that tribe, This has been a story in unto itself, and this one, and this one, and that one, and that one. No one is greater or more important than the other. They are all required in the story of humanity. So, how may we release the judgments and the separations that we've held? How may we shift our vibrations in the words and the thoughts that we have so that we can come together and truly be a tribe of light, a tribe of healing and community and caring, a tribe of understanding that there will be others that will want to go in their own unique direction and for their soul's path, because every soul has its own journey and its own template and blueprint that it's come to work within. And we might have only come to contact with them for a glimpse, but we're here offering our authentic voice, our authentic soul's purpose, so that we can fully be that vibration that that person was meant to see in that glimpse. There's contracts that set up certain people to come into your life so that they can either propel you into new directions, they can propel you inward to seek your strength, to seek your wisdoms and intelligence, to own your power. There's others that come into your life to assist you in propelling you in greater happiness and joy and greater light, to propel you into a new path. It's all becoming. We're becoming the story of humanity in a whole new way. That's beautiful. And this one, I just love this. This is going right into the shaman of courage. The shaman of courage allows us to move through those transitions. That when we're releasing one story and stepping into a new one, we're releasing all that we've ever known, all that we've been familiar with, all that we've ever been told, especially now. And I'm speaking from experience because I can often remember the timelines, and I'm healing the timelines through which fear and anxiety come forward when we're truly stepping beyond into a whole new caliber of vibrational living. And it's so different than what I've ever experienced before. And everything that I've ever known has been connected with all other dimensions before that, vibrational threads and reality experiences. So it creates the idea that, wow, can I do this? Can I create something that I can see as a vision, but it hasn't been seen or heard? I don't even have words for some of the things that I can explain, but I know they're important. So it takes great courage and inner courage, not from the egoic perspective, but from the sense of spirit and the sense of soul that this courage is speaking about. The shamanic courages that you know that when you combine the energy of who you are, and that's what shamanism is for me, it's the intermingling and entanglement of many different frequencies and intelligences and remembrances and wisdoms coming together to create an alchemic transmutation, an alchemic elixir, so that you transform what was, whether it's through sound, whether it's through color, whether it's through intention. Those are alchemic shamanic shifts. You're taking many of one thing, you're taking the many of source, combining it, and creating something new through sound. Because I can see the alchemy happening and occurring. And so the shaman of courage is that it's each and every one of us taking our own unique path. And oftentimes we'll need to call in those spirit helpers, those shaman helpers, those guides. Assist me in creating greater clarity and courage today. I need to walk through something that I know that at a subconscious level that I've been fearing, because I know it's my next step on my journey. And it might not please all those people that are in my circle. I might have to walk away from a job that I've known and that has given me the income that I've held that safety around, but perhaps I don't need it. Maybe I can see my experience from a grander perspective, that as I perceive myself as always cared for, as always abundant, then I'll come into exactly what I need as long as I'm serving my soul's purpose. And that takes courage, because it's so easy to stay in what we've always done. It's the easy path. It's hard for us to go within and love ourselves, to honor and acknowledge where we've been and what we've done, even if it hasn't been pleasant or pleasurable, even if the things we've done may have a definition behind it that might be negative or dark. That's how we heal the shadow. Yes, that was a moment that I didn't act in my highest and in my best, but I'm moving in a forward progression and a higher progression because I'm acknowledging it now. And I want to see myself in higher light. I want to feel myself in higher light. And I understand that takes acknowledgement and courage. And I'm willing to go that path. It's the path less taken. And that path will always bring you back to a higher frequency and a higher light of you. That's beautiful. Oh, I love this one. Wow, this one's just one of my favorite cards. This is the Dancer of Promise. And just look at the story on that card vibrationally. This is the dancer. I'll tell you my story in a second, but I'll read what it says here. I'm already getting a story from this one. This one's already telling me a story. I gotta have fun. Mama has fun. I'm the dancer of promise. I hold out my hands to catch the waves of delight and the power that wash over me and bestow them on anyone who seeks my help. I will fill you with the light of the morning. I will enliven you with joyful anticipation and triumph and hope. Isn't that what we all desire, really? Is just the hope. Wow, there's something within me. There's something to explore and experience. I just absolutely know it. That's what hope means to me. It doesn't mean something that cannot be attained or something that is unseeable. It's something that we absolutely know is there. It's like that beautiful thing right around the corner. And it's a sense of wonder and a passage through time and space as we realize, because we've become the vibration of it. That's what promise is for me. We've become the vibration of what we've hoped for. And that has been one of the most powerful messages that I've remembered this week, is in all the travels that I've experienced, in all of my lifetimes that I remember, and how I've healed the various aspects of my shadow and I don't even call it my shadow, myself. It's my whole self. I don't want to differentiate it, separate it by defining it. How I've healed all that I am through my heart. There, even in my most challenging, most difficult moments, in the darkest moments that I've experienced, there was a part of me that at that level, I knew that I was still one with Source, that kept me going. And that was the promise of the light within. That is that eternal spark that never ever goes out. That, if I was on the floor, just begging for the explanation of why I was going through what I was going through, there was always the hope that it held greater purpose. And I know that now. And I'm proud within that now. And I can hold my sense of self with greater promise. And I say promise in the way that we've just explained it, so that I may walk through the portal to become all that I can choose to become. And that's the promise of Source through each and every one of us, that we become all that we're meant to be through our own choosing, through our own inner work, through our own inner love and remembrance of who we are. That's the innate story of ascension. It's not to see everyone in an ascended state. That wasn't the purpose at all. The purpose is the exhilaration and the exaltation to explore all that you are, to rediscover yourself as love and light in every moment, so that you allow yourself your own sacred promise, so that you walk through your own portal of light, you walk through your own portal of knowing. You create those in your sacred moments of communion and essence journey with your soul and with Source. It's a sacred journey. And it wouldn't be a sacred journey if these beings on the wall weren't looking and having as much fun as they were. And you see how much light is around them? That light is coming from the energies that they've created within that space. That's their everlasting song, as you are of Source. You are the everlasting song of Source. And how may you look forward to, with determination, with the gift of opportunity, the glimpse of the future, dreaming and actually contacting and being that promise of you. And that's profound. Wow, that's powerful. And how can we move into those delights? It's truly a journey of delight. And this card is one of my favorite cards. And there's always a prayer with these ones, which I like. 120. And this is Our Lady of Ocean Rebirth. I champion your growth always. I know when the hard edges are best softened. When it is time for you to receive a reward, the efforts are made. Allow me to help you release karmic patterns so that you can be a new reborn into new consciousness. Allow me to help you heal your life from the inside out, and how change may reflect your inner beauty and the spiritual light that you are. I am bringing you assistance now, that a force beyond your control may soften and allow you to create your own successful growth that is assured. This is the Lady of Ocean Rebirth. So when we truly need help and desire help, even when it's a karmically heavy experience, or an emotionally heavy experience, a mentally heavy experience, we have spirit with us in every moment. And it's just our pure heart, the purity essence of who we are, when we connect with who we are at the center of who we are, to create change. to open within that pure intent and to say, I can no longer carry what I'm carrying. I can no longer continue to move within these energies that don't feel good. I know that there is a frequency beyond this, and I've learned the lessons of this. So as I taught in my webinar the other day, there the steps, if you will, to transcend and move beyond what you've been moving through, regardless of how challenging it is to claim it, accept it, and acknowledge it first. You can't change what you're not owning. You've created it, you've accepted it as a part of your soul's journey, and it will serve you. It's hard to see in the moment, but it absolutely serves you in all ways. And it's always about soul growth. How can you move and transcend and transform and stretching yourself beyond where you were a moment ago? And it takes that we acknowledge it first. Accept that you've placed yourself there through the choices that we've made, because that's sovereignty, that's your power. So what we're doing is we're reclaiming this power by acknowledging and accepting who we are. I accept that I had the power to choose this. And in a way, this will serve me. I might not understand the whole story right now, because many of the lessons that we learn through even the most challenging things serve us in a multidimensional, multi-layered way. And we might see that lesson a year from now, 2 years from now, but it absolutely will serve you. And you'll continue to grow from it if you allow yourself. It's always choice. So acknowledging and accepting yourself and claiming that power, that's how you reclaim your power. Then forgiveness and compassion. Show yourself forgiveness and compassion for everything that you're moving through emotionally, because it might be quite sad. It might be quite painful. It might allow you to go to a deeper level of self-acceptance. So acknowledge, accept it, and reclaim your power. Played out with others and for others and because of others. It doesn't matter how we define it and put the words into it. But allowing yourself to transcend anything is your power to acknowledge and accept it, to reclaim that power, call it back to your center being of light, because it will teach you and guide you in the highest, most expansive ways. And sometimes the most deepest pains that we have can take these healing processes. For me, anyways, it's been years to move through certain persecutory energies and self-love and self-acceptance when there's been abuse and trauma. And so be gentle and soft with yourself, that you're doing the best that you can. And oftentimes, especially with abuse and traumas, that abuse wasn't your fault. It's not your fault to say that you brought that on yourself. It was a part of the contract that lessons can be learned, but that abuse and how it took place was not your fault. So to let the guilt and the shame go through those healings and those depths of healings that take years, they really do. But we begin and we allow ourselves to open up and fully know that we're threading within a family of billions, and we can help and honor every time that we unveil and move through such traumas and challenges, that we heal the all, because your soul is so vast. And as you heal a layer of your soul, it affects the all, and you're worthy of feeling that light of who you are as the pure, innocent, perfect child of Source Creator that you are. And you'll always be going through an ocean rebirth. The ocean rebirth is understanding that the waters are the emotional frequencies. And every time we allow and honor and give softness and gentleness to our emotional body, and importance and value to our emotional body, that we will always be cleansed and washed to a frequency of higher light. And we will always be birthed anew through the beings of consciousness and the heavenly teams, the Mother, Father that work with you, will always birth you anew, absolutely. And you'll be feeling completely different the next morning, as if lighter, more aware, more clear. Because those are the densities that have been held so deep within your chakras and your cells, and the traumas that have been held within you can be released. You've allowed it, you've accepted it. You said, I accept that this is a part of me. I'm not going to suppress it any longer. This is who I am. It was painful and it was hard, but it's made me who I am. And I'm the full person and the full being. And I'm no longer going to allow the pain to control me, or the suffering to control me. I'm going to lovingly navigate my life with all aspects of all that I am, and I accept and I honor me. And that's reclaiming your power. That's that self-acceptance. That's the last phase, because it comes through forgiveness and compassion. You're loving yourself in every moment. Unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love through every phase that you're releasing, layer upon layer upon layer. Because sometimes your trauma in this lifetime is also connected with 3 or 4 other, 5 other Akashic timelines. And so it does take layer by layer, you unveil ever greater light, ever greater love. You're continually being reborn. And so that's lovely. Thank you. And the final one here is Persephone. I love 218. These are really powerful cards. When I need, I use certain decks for certain energies I'm moving through. When I need that that divine goddess empowerment, I use the crystal deck because there's so many great powerful goddesses, and I really get great empowerment from the goddess deck. This is the goddess Persephone, the inner queen. We bring you the empowerment of the inner queen. The inner queen exercises authority of divine feminine wisdom. Her empowerment is active within men and women and consciously seeks to honor the feeling, the instincts, the intuitions, and the emotions of all that we are, allowing the moral code of compassion to reign all, which is what we've been talking about, is truly transcending what we were, choosing compassionate words, choosing the compassionate vibration of heart-centered living, choosing the compassionate vibration of unveiling every layer that you are to expose greater light and greater emotional depth and greater mental intelligence. Every layer that we have the courage to unveil, we will unveil a truer aspect of our divine essence. There will always be layers for us to unveil. That is evolution. The healing power of the inner queen brings the inner pain to the consciousness, where we can feel it and release it and allow it to be a part of all that we are and not fear it or judge it. That is the liberation. That is what healing offers us, is true liberation. We're not suppressing who we are anymore. We're not hiding from it. We're not ignoring it. We're not depressing it. And why our multidimensional self-care, our multidimensional intuitive living, honor sacred living throughout the day will allow you to ever bring forward oftentimes quite smaller and minor healings. You know, you might have a few moments of sadness. Those are those minor healings. And then you might have those moments where you're crying on the way home from work. I've been there. You know, but they're required, you know, and go into it. What is it that I'm feeling? What is it that's showing me that is allowing this to be released from the depths of my cells? My body is a dynamic vessel of intelligence, and our multidimensional body, the emotions and the mental intellect and the fields that we exist within, they're all working together. So the more that we honor that, encourage and empower that communion of the whole self, the source self, the soul self, the more that we live in inner peace, because you're fulfilling your soul. And that's what inner peace is, when you're living in soul fulfillment as source, not ignoring it or suppressing any aspect of you. And why we will continue to create the outer experiences until we call it in and accept it all. And that's how we heal the collective. That's why we've come forward. And we really, you know, connect with that greater light that we are. So that's been, wow, a really powerful reading. That's like a lot of power there. And that's the process of transformation. That's ascension. That's evolution. Taking layer by layer and honoring all of it. Knowing that you have great strength. Knowing that you have the courage to peel back those layers and honor who you are in all aspects. Because you're always the greatest promise to yourself. Always. There's nobody that can be it for you. You are it. You know, it's your path with you, for you, through you, because you're source. That's the revelation. That's the revolution. That's soulful living. Namaste, dear lighted ones. We're so happy that you've joined us today, and we love you all. Go about your life with great passion and boldness. Step into the power of all that you are, living fully and soulfully as you are. Be authentic in your words and your voice. Live from your heart and know that you are truly loved. You are divine and you are sacred in all ways. Namaste.